The question is that the bill be now read a second time. Mr. Saktiandi Supaat.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I rise in support of the bill. The proposed amendments are indeed helpful in filling the gaps, especially in the current business environment where job losses and business uncertainty are commonplace. Today I will speak about my thoughts on benefits for retrenched parents, support for parents of stillborn children, followed by support for pro-family employers. Madam Deputy Speaker, in Malay please. Pertama, saya ingin merakamkan rasa empati saya kepada ibu bapa yang mempunyai bayi atau anak kecil ketika bergelut dengan kehilangan pendapatan dan ketidakpastian yang disebabkan oleh pemberhentian pekerja. Saya telah menghadapi beberapa kes penduduk di mana tidak lama selepas kelahiran anak, ibu bapa mengalami kehilangan pekerjaan dan keluarga bergegas mencari sokongan keuangan. Situasi seperti ini sangat menakutkan kerana keluarga tidak akan menjangkakan kehilangan pekerjaan yang malang ini akan berlaku. Ini sangat menyusahkan ibu yang akan mengalami banyak keresahan dan trauma sosial dan emosi yang membimbangkan bagaimana memberi makan atau susu bayinya yang baru dilahirkan. Walaupun mereka berjaya mencari kerja kontrak jangka pendek, terdapat banyak ketidakpastian di pasaran semasa sehingga ada yang cepat mendapati diri mereka tidak bekerja setelah berminggu-minggu atau bahkan berhari-hari. Terdapat banyak pemilik perniagaan dan bergaji sendiri yang juga mengalami masalah. Mereka mungkin mendapati pendapatan mereka dipotong secara drastik atau mereka mungkin jatuh hutang dan terpaksa menutup perniagaan mereka untuk jangka masa yang tidak diketahui. Dalam keadaan seperti itu, banyak keluarga tidak berhak mendapat faedah cuti biasa dengan kontrak pekerjaan tetap konvensional. Jadi ada baiknya pemerintah membuat pengecualian untuk menolong mereka. Sudah waktunya untuk memperkenalkan skim manfaat paterniti berbayar pemerintah atau GPPB dan manfaat adopsi berbayar pemerintah atau GPAB untuk memberi faedah kepada bapa yang bekerja dan ibu angkat dengan kontrak pekerjaan jangka pendek atau yang kontrak pekerjaannya berakhir sebelum anak mereka dilahirkan atau pengangkatan adoption. Meningkatkan faedah bapa selalu merupakan langkah yang tepat untuk meningkatkan kesaksamaan gender. Dan anak angkat terutama dalam iklim yang mencabar ini adalah tindakan mulia yang patut mendapat sokongan. Saya perhatikan bahawa ibu bapa yang layak hanya dapat membuat permohonan mulai Disember 2021. Jadi saya tanya, adakah jika ini dapat dipercepatkan? Pertama, ini akan memberi sedikit kelegaan kepada ibu bapa yang mengalami kerunsingan, dan kedua, ini akan mengurangkan kemungkinan timbulnya kekeliruan yang timbul dari ibu bapa yang berusaha untuk memohon dan kemudian menyedari bahawa permohonan itu belum dibuka. Let me speak in English. The bill proposes to grant government-paid maternity benefit (GPMB), GPPB or GPAB top-ups for parents who have been retrenched but have unconsumed parental leave. Can the Minister elaborate what is the process for affected parents and what kind of documents and evidence will they have to provide, if any? I think MOS provided some details earlier, but further details might be useful, especially for the men on the street. What happens if the company they work for is winding up? How do the claimants secure the relevant HR records? So these are specific details that I'm asking. It is a common problem that when the office is in somewhat of a mess, it will be challenging to retrieve records. If the company is unable or unwilling to provide the required information, even going as far as to cut off contact. So what can the affected parties do to be eligible for the entitled grants? On behalf of my residents, I would also like to clarify what is the definition of self-employed in the bill. I think the gig workers and freelancers like delivery riders should fall under this category. However, a number of residents are telling me that they are quite doubtful because they don't have employment contracts. A number of them have only started working as delivery riders this year as a last recourse. So they have not filed income tax either. This group generally also tends to be the hardest hit because their earnings are directly dependent on number of hours worked. If they take a break to tend to childcare needs, and if, for example, a COVID situation closes down a specific childcare, then they miss all of their earnings for that time frame. Can the minister share if they get any entitlements and what is their recourse if they don't? Madam Deputy Speaker, welcoming a newborn should also be a happy occasion for all. But many after-birth healthcare expenses for both mother and child require money. Not only that, but the cost for transport to and from the clinics and hospitals, as well as special nutrition for mum and baby, all add up. When families are in a stressful situation, the mother and sometimes even the father too are prone to postnatal depression, which presents another set of challenges. So it is important to keep the processes to receive financial grants and aid simplified without compromising governance, so that applicants will not be put into more stress, having to answer a whole gamut of questions. Even the need to get a notary public to sign off a document can be a challenge, as it means having to find the office, travel to and from the lawyer's office, showing the original documents for inspection, and finally paying for the fees. Madam Deputy Speaker, on this subject of mental health, I am glad to know that amendment to the bill extends support to parents with stillborn children. It is indeed very thoughtful that we are extending the birth-linked leave and benefits to these parents as they work towards recovering physically and emotionally. I hope the Ministry would also consider subsidizing a quantum of any counselling services that the parents may need to undergo to overcome their distress. This would also hopefully go some ways into normalizing the need to seek help for one's mental health. These are very challenging times, and many have already found their mental health to be affected by the pandemic, which has lasted more than a year. To experience the death of a loved one on top of all these problems is nothing short of devastating. A group of people that we really need empathy from are employers. So pro-family employers are crucial in shaping a nation and culture that is sensitive and encouraging to the needs of parents. Over the years, the government has ramped up its policies and expanded the pool of parents who are eligible for paid parental leave. With the amendment to this bill, employers who voluntarily grant leave to their employees who have not met the minimum 3-month employment criteria for the various parental leave schemes will also be reimbursed. Employers who do their part to support nation building and child rearing must continue to be lauded. However, there are some employers and recruiters who still believe that high productivity is only possible when work is not disrupted. They want to hire the employee that takes as little leave as possible. Last month, my colleagues and I presented our German motion on workplace discrimination. My colleague, Mr. Louis Ng, spoke about how some women were being passed over for job opportunities simply because they were mothers. So the government can offer any amount of leave benefits. We can even try to emulate Sweden and give parents an entitlement of 480 days of paid parental leave once a child is born or adopted. But all this means little if employees are passing over parents, especially mothers, for job and promotion opportunities to begin with. Now, under normal circumstances, when the economy is prosperous and labour market is tight, it is easy to say that employers with poor employee welfare policies will find themselves penalised with greater difficulty to hire and retain talent. Unfortunately, more people are seeking employment than before. I'm concerned that improving employees' welfare may take a back seat for some employers, although this really should not be the case. So I hope the government can do more to reward companies that are genuinely pro-family. The government already offers leave benefits and reimbursements, as well as grants to cultivate family-friendly workplace policies. We all know there are many long-term benefits when companies have engaged and happy workers. Unfortunately, many are more interested in quick fixes, especially with current pandemic. So even if they are essentially funded to redesign their company policies, they may feel the effort is not worthwhile. So can the government perhaps look into dangling more carrots, including more grants and loans, where pro-family employers can benefit in other areas? This could be similar to how the government provides higher subsidies for hiring of mature workers, and likewise, it would be a temporary move, so when the economy improves and the employer is able to see for themselves that the effort of implementing family-friendly policies pays off in the long run, they would have an existing system in place and will be inclined to continue it even without external rewards. Madam Deputy Speaker, COVID-19 has caused many Singaporeans to postpone or even cancel their plans to have children. For those who go ahead to have children, the poor economy has made parenthood a greater struggle, on top of other social distancing measures that has greatly disrupted playtime and social lives of our young ones. It is prudent to have support measures so our current generation of little ones may at least have a happy and healthy early childhood. Madam Deputy Speaker, I support the bill.